Welcome. My name is Catherine, and today I'm going to share four of my favorite albums by the Australian rock band INXS. And INXS was formed by the Ferris brothers in Sydney, Australia in 1977. And there are six founding members. We have Gary Beers on bass guitar, Andrew Ferris, who plays piano. He's the main songwriter, and he also plays guitar. John Ferris, the youngest brother, who's the drummer. Tim Ferris is the oldest brother. He plays lead guitar. Michael Hutchence is the lead singer and main songwriter. And Kirk Pengilly, who plays guitar and saxophone. Now on their albums, Gary's name is Gary Beers. That was a misprint on their first album in 1980, and they just kept it, and it's on their albums and on their merchandise. So here's the history of the band, and I just want to tell how Andrew and Michael met. So Michael Hutchence was born in Sydney, Australia on January 22nd, 1960. His father, Kel Hutchence, was a businessman, and Kel's job moved the family to Hong Kong when Michael was 3 years old. And Michael attended school there. And as a child in Hong Kong, he picked up the language and he knows how to speak Mandarin Chinese. So when Michael was 12 years old, the family moved back to Sydney, Australia. And he started school in 1972 there at the age of 12. And this is where he met Andrew in school. So Michael was out on the playground or the schoolyard, and he was being bullied, and he was involved in a fight with another student. And Andrew intervened and helped him out. And that's how they first met, and they became best friends. Now, Tim Ferris is the oldest of the Ferris brothers. He was the first one in the family to learn a musical instrument, and he started playing guitar at the age of 9. And he took the leadership role in the band, wanting them to become successful and famous. John Ferris is the youngest brother. He was born August 10th of 1961, and he started playing the snare drum in school about in the first grade. And he taught himself to play drums, and his father brought him a drum kit when he was 7, and he would listen to Beatles records and try to copy the drumming. And Kirk Pengilly was born July 4th, 1958 in Melbourne. His father moved them to Sydney when he was 8 years old, and he started teaching himself acoustic guitar. And in 1971, he met Tim Ferris at Forest High School, and they became friends. Now, Andrew Ferris is the middle of the Ferris brothers. He was born March 22nd or 27th, 1959, and he started playing the piano when he was 9, and then he took up playing the guitar at age 17. He attended Davidson High School, where he met Michael, and they also formed a band together called Dr. Dolphin. So it was Andy, Michael, and Gary Beers. And finally, Gary Beers was born June 22nd, 1957. He attended the Forest High School, and he started playing acoustic guitar and switched to bass. And no one in their neighborhood or in their community was playing bass, so he became their bass player. So they started out as being called Dr. Dolphin, then the Ferris brothers, and then called themselves INXS. So my first favorite album is The Swing, and it's their fourth studio album, released in April of 1984. It's produced by Nile Rodgers, and we have backup vocals from Daryl Hall. The singles on this album are Original Sin, I Send a Message, Burn for You, Dance on the Jetty. And this album was #1 in Australia for 5 weeks and reached number 52 in the US. The songs that I like on here the best are I Send a Message, and I like the song Burn for You. I like the backup vocals in that song. My next favorite album is Listen Like Thieves. This is their 5th album, released October 14th of 1985. And this is a new wave alternative rock album. And we have a different producer. This time it's Chris Thomas. And I really like the sound on this record. You can really hear the different instruments. The singles are What You Need, which became their first top 5 hit in America. This Time, Kiss the Dirt, Falling Down the Mountain, and the title track single Listen Like Thieves. My favorite songs on here are the dance song What You Need, and I like the Shine Like It Does song, which wasn't a single, but I just think it's a very uplifting, happy song, and I like it a lot. Next album is their biggest selling album, released October 19th, 1997. It's Kick. So we have a lot of singles on this album. It's Need You Tonight, which was their first #1 hit in America. Devil Inside, New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart, and Mystify. And this reached #3 on the Billboard US Billboard album chart in 1997. And following Kick, they toured extensively all over the world. So they went to North America, Europe, Japan, and Australia. And my favorite songs on here are Mystify and the ballad Never Tear Us Apart. I think that ballad is one of the best ballads in the 80s. And I just want to point something out on this album. The song Need You Tonight and Meditate were connected. You can even see it on the grooves of the record. There's not much space. John's drumming continues. And I just remember in the 80s when this song was played on the radio, they played the two songs together. But if you ever hear it on streaming services today, or even if it's ever played on the radio, they don't play Mediate with Need You Tonight. So that's what's wonderful about having physical media. And the last thing I'm going to show you today, I never got to see this band in concert. So I have this DVD of their Wembley concert. They performed in front of over 72,000 people. And this is fun to watch. And it gives me a sense of what INXS was like performing live. So the last album I'm going to show you is their album called 10. It was released September 25th of 1990. It's also an alternative rock and pop album. And we have the singles Suicide Blonde, Disappear, Bitter Tears, and By My Side. And this reached #2 in the UK, selling 300,000 copies. In the US, it initially reached gold status, 500,000 copies in 2 months. And then by the end of 97, it was double platinum, selling 2 million copies. In Australia, it reached #1 on the charts for 2 weeks and was also 2 times platinum. My favorite songs on this album are Disappear, The Stairs. I like the key changes in The Stairs. And By My Side, which was written by Andrew Ferris and co-written by Kirk Pengilly. And it was a song he wrote for his wife, missing her while they were on tour. And I just think this is a really great album. I mean, Kick is good. I mean, all the albums are so different from each other. That's what I like. Their music kind of evolved and they didn't keep things the same. And I just love their singles. They're upbeat dance tracks and it's great music to listen to. There's a really great poster inside the jewel case of the 10 album, and I will show that to you. So those are my 4 favorite albums. And the band performed their last concert in 2011. And I currently follow Andrew Ferris on Spotify and I subscribe to his channel on YouTube. In 2020, he put out a EP of 5 songs. And then in 2021, he put out a country folk album. His music is different, but I still enjoy it. I think he's a great songwriter. In the description, I'm going to put a link to a song called My Brother, which is a tribute to Michael Hutchence. It's on that 5 single CD that he put out in 2020. It's a really beautiful song and it's good to remember the great frontman Michael Hutchence. So I thank you for watching and I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. Please leave a comment about INXS and what are some of your favorite songs by INXS. Bye and I'll see you next time.